She slapped the billionaire's wife in public seconds later. She regretted everything. The champagne flute shatters against marble, and time stops. Crystal shards catch the light from the chandeliers above, each fragment a tiny mirror reflecting. The horror on Victoria Pemberton's face as she realizes what she's just done. Her palm still stings from the slap. The sound of it, sharp, violent, wrong, echoes through the suddenly silent ballroom. Zara Blackstone touches her cheek slowly, deliberately, her dark eyes never leaving Victoria's pale face. There's something regal in the way she stands there, in her midnight blue gown that hugs every curve, diamonds at her throat catching fire in the light. She doesn't stumble, doesn't cry, doesn't even look surprised. "You shouldn't have done that," Zara says, her voice carrying the kind of quiet that precedes storms. The crowd holds its collective breath, 300 of Manhattan's elite frozen, like figures in a snow globe, waiting for someone to shake their world back into motion. They've all heard the whispers, of course, how Marcus Blackstone, worth more than some small countries, married a woman who grew up in foster care. How he looks at her like she hung the moon. How she changed him, from a ruthless corporate shark into something almost human. Victoria's crimson lips part, but no sound emerges. She can feel it already, the shift in the air, the way the crowd's energy turns predatory. These people don't love her. They tolerate her because her father owns half of Connecticut. But Zara is Marcus Blackstone's wife, and Marcus Blackstone is walking toward them now. He moves through the crowd like a blade through silk, and people part without being asked. His tuxedo is perfectly tailored, his jaw carved from stone. But it's his eyes that make Victoria step back, gray like winter storms, focused entirely on his wife, Zara, just her name. But the way he says it, like a prayer, like a promise, like coming home. His fingers ghost over her cheek, not quite touching the mark Victoria left there. "Are you hurt?" "I'm fine, Marcus." Zara's hand covers his, and something passes between them that makes everyone else in the room feel like intruders. She's just confused. Victoria finds her voice, high and sharp with panic. "She was flirting with my..." "Choose your next words very carefully, Miss Pemberton." Marcus doesn't look at her, doesn't need to. His voice drops to something dangerous, something that's closed $100 million deals and destroyed careers with equal ease. "Because I'm already calculating exactly how much your father's company is worth, and I'm wondering if I want to own it by morning." The threat lands like a physical blow. Victoria's father's company, built over 40 years, employing thousands, hanging by the thread of this man's mood. She opens her mouth, closes it, suddenly understanding the magnitude of her mistake. But Zara turns in Marcus's arms, her back against his chest, and studies Victoria with something that might be pity. "Let her go, Marcus. She's young. She assaulted you. She slapped me." Zara's fingers trace the lapel of his jacket, and his arm tightens around her waist reflexively. "There's a difference. Not to me." The intimacy of it, the way they're having this conversation, as if 300 people aren't watching, makes Victoria's chest burn with something ugly. She'd wanted to humiliate Zara, to prove she didn't belong here among the old money and proper bloodlines. Instead, she's watching Marcus Blackstone cradle his wife like she's made of spun glass, and steal in equal measure. "Please," Victoria whispers, and the word tastes like ash. Zara tilts her head, considering. There's a regal quality to her that has nothing to do with the diamonds at her throat or the designer gown. It's in the way she holds herself, the way she commands the room without raising her voice. "Apologize. I'm sorry, not to me." Zara's smile is sharp as winter. "To everyone here," loudly, "so they all know exactly what kind of person you are." Victoria's face flames red, but she turns to the crowd, sees the hunger in their eyes. They want her blood in the water, want to watch her drown. "I apologize," she says, voice breaking, "for my inexcusable behavior." Marcus's phone buzzes. He glances at it, smiles a predator's smile. "Your father's calling. Should I answer?" Victoria runs. Her heels click against marble like a countdown to her own destruction, and the crowd closes behind her like water, already forgetting she existed. Marcus pulls Zara closer, his lips brushing her temple. "You're too kind, and you're too protective." But she melts into him anyway. And he breathes her in jasmine and strength and something uniquely Zara. That makes his world make sense. The orchestra begins to play again, but neither of them moves. Morning light filters through the penthouse gym's windows, painting golden stripes across Zara's skin as she moves through her yoga routine. Marcus pretends to focus on his weights, but his eyes keep drifting to her, the graceful arch of her back, the way her breathing deepens with each pose. "You're staring," she says without opening her eyes, admiring. Same thing. She shifts into a new position, and he nearly drops the dumbbell. "How's Victoria's father?" He sets down the weights, grabs his water, panicking. He's called 6 times, and I haven't answered. He crosses to her mat, crouches beside her. "I'm letting him sweat a little." She opens one eye. "Marcus, I won't destroy his company, but he should know his daughter's behavior has consequences." His finger traces the faint mark on her cheek, barely visible now, but he still sees it, still feels the rage from last night simmering beneath his skin. She sits up, crosses her legs, and studies him with those dark eyes that see too much. This isn't really about the slap. Of course it is. No. She reaches out, traces the tension in his shoulders. This is about control, about the fact that you couldn't prevent it. He catches her hand, holds it against his chest where his heart beats too fast. "I should have seen it coming. The way she was drinking, the way she kept watching you. You're not omnipotent, Marcus. You can't protect me from everything. I can try, and drive yourself crazy in the process." She shifts closer, her knees touching his thighs. "What happens when someone writes a nasty article about me? Do you buy the newspaper? When someone makes a snide comment at a restaurant, do you purchase the entire chain? If necessary, Marcus." She frames his face with both hands, forces him to meet her eyes. "I'm not fragile. I survived 23 years without you, including some very bad ones. I don't need a knight in armor." "What do you need?" "A partner." Her thumb traces his lower lip, and his breath catches. "Someone who trusts me to handle myself but stands ready if I need backup. Someone who sees me as an equal, not a treasure to be locked away." "You are a treasure," he argues, pulling her into his lap. "But I've never wanted to lock you away. I want to show you off to the world, let them all see what I see." "And what? Do you see everything?" He buries his face in her neck, breathes in the scent of her jasmine and sweat, and something uniquely hers. "My entire future, my reason for becoming better than I was." Her arms wrap around him, holding him close. "You were already good, Marcus. You just needed someone to remind you." They stay like that, wrapped in each other as the city wakes up around them. Then his phone buzzes again and she laughs against his shoulder. "Answer it," she says. Put the poor man out of his misery. He reaches for the phone, but she doesn't move from his lap, and he finds he likes conducting business with her weight grounding him. "Blackstone." "Mr. Blackstone, please." Robert Pemberton's voice cracks with desperation. "I'm so sorry about Victoria. She's young and foolish, and she'd had too much to drink. Your daughter assaulted my wife." Marcus's voice is ice, but Zara's fingers in his hair keep him centered. "In front of 300 witnesses. I know, and I'm prepared to. I don't want your money, Pemberton." He feels Zara smile against his throat. "I want your daughter to undergo sensitivity training and anger management counseling. Real counseling, not some spa retreat you'll try to pass off as therapy." Silence on the other end. "Then, of course, yes, whatever you think is best. And she'll volunteer at my wife's literacy foundation. 40 hours a month for the next year." Zara pulls back, raises an eyebrow. He winks at her. That's very generous of you, Mr. Blackstone." "It's not my generosity, it's my wife's. She believes your daughter can learn from this." His hand spreads across Zara's lower back, pulling her closer. "Don't make her regret that belief." He ends the call, tosses the phone aside. Satisfied. 40 hours a month. She's trying not to smile. That's a lot of time, with underprivileged kids who won't care about her last name or her trust. Fund might do her some good, might do the kids some harm. Then you'll have to supervise her closely. He nips at her jaw, feels her shiver. "Make sure she behaves. You're devious." But she's kissing him now, slow and deep, and he forgets about Victoria and her father and everything that isn't the Woman in his arms, only for you. He promises against her lips, everything I am is for you. She pulls back just enough to look at him, and what he sees in her eyes steals his breath. I love you, Marcus Blackstone, even when you're overprotective and impossible. Especially then, he corrects and carries her back to their bedroom. The penthouse elevator rises in silence, carrying them above the glittering maze of Manhattan. Zara hasn't spoken since they left the gala, and Marcus watches her reflection in the polished doors. The way she holds herself so carefully, like she might shatter if she lets go. You're angry, he says. I'm not angry, you're something. The doors open to their private floor, and she steps out first, already reaching for the zipper of her gown. I need a minute, Marcus. But he follows her, of course he follows her through the marble foyer and into their bedroom, with its floor-to-ceiling windows showcasing the city. Like a jewelry box, she stops at her vanity, begins removing her earrings with deliberate precision. Zara, don't. Her hands shake as she sets down the diamonds. Just don't. He crosses to her in 3 strides, catches her hands in his. Look at me, she does. And he sees it then, not anger but hurt, deep and raw. You threatened to destroy her father's company. She hit you. And that gives you the right to destroy innocent people's livelihoods. She pulls her hands free, turns away. Those employees didn't slap me, Marcus. They just work for her father. The accusation stings because it's true. He'd reacted on instinct, on the primitive need to protect what's his. But Zara isn't a possession. She's the woman who challenged him from day one, who sees through his armor to the man beneath. You're right, he says quietly. She turns, surprise flickering across her face. What? You're right. I overreacted. He loosens his bow tie, runs a hand through his dark hair. When I saw her hand connect with your face, I lost myself for a moment. Why? She steps closer, her gown whispering against the floor. Why? Does it matter so much? People have said worse about me, about us, because you're mine. The words come out rough, possessive, but then he catches himself, softens. No, because I'm yours, completely, irrevocably, and watching someone try to diminish you, to make you feel less than the queen you are. Her hand comes up to cup his jaw, thumb tracing his cheekbone. I don't need you to fight my battles, No. He turns his face into her palm, presses a kiss there. But I need to stand beside you while you fight them. Beside me, not in front of me. I'm working on it. She laughs, soft and genuine, and the sound loosens something in his chest. You're impossible, and you love me anyway. God help me, Duke. She rises on her toes, brings her mouth close to his ear. But if you ever threaten to buy a company just to defend my honor again, I'll handle you myself. Promise. His hands find her waist, pull her against him. Because I seem to recall you handling me quite effectively last Tuesday and Wednesday. And she kisses him to shut him up, and he forgets about Victoria Pemberton, about the gala, about everything except the taste of champagne on Zara's lips and the way she sighs into his mouth. Her fingers tangle in his hair, and he lifts her onto the vanity, steps between her thighs. Wait. She pulls back, breathing hard. There's something else. He groans, drops his forehead to hers. Now, Victoria was upset about something specific. Zara's fingers play with his collar, and he has to focus on her words instead of the way her touch makes his skin burn. She kept looking at someone during her apology, someone in the crowd. Marcus straightens, his business mind engaging despite the distraction of Zara's proximity. Who? Thomas Pemberton, her cousin. Zara's eyes gleam with intelligence, the same sharp mind that first attracted him to her. He was standing with the Hendersons, but he kept watching us, watching me. You think there's something between them? I think Victoria thought there was. She traces his jaw with one finger, and he catches it, presses it to his lips. The way she said I was flirting, she meant with him. He spoke to me briefly about the Foundation's literacy program. She must have seen. Jealousy makes people stupid, so does love. Her legs wrap around his waist, pulling him closer. Look, what it's done to you. The mighty Marcus Blackstone, ready to topple empires over a slap. I'd topple them all for you. He means it, and that should probably concern him more than it does. Every last one. I don't need empires. Her lips brush his throat, and he shudders. I just need you. You have me. He promises against her mouth, always. The city glitters below them, unaware that high above, to hearts beat as one. The Literacy Foundation's office hums with activity. When Victoria Pemberton arrives for her first day, designer heels clicking against worn linoleum, Zara watches from her doorway as the younger woman takes in the chaos children's artwork covering every wall, volunteers sorting book donations, the controlled chaos of people doing work that matters. You came, Zara observes. Victoria's chin lifts. I didn't have a choice. There's always a choice. Zara gestures to her office. Come in. We need to talk. The space is small, but warm, filled with photographs, children reading, celebration, parties. Marcus at last year's fundraiser, with paint on his expensive suit from the kids' art project. Victoria's eyes linger on that one. He really loves you, she says, something bitter in her voice. Yes, why? The question bursts out, raw and honest. You're beautiful, sure, but so are half the women in Manhattan. You're smart, but you didn't go to the right schools. You don't have the connections, the breeding, the pedigree. Zara settles behind her desk, studies the girl across from her. So young under all that makeup and privilege. You think love is about checking boxes, isn't it? My parents matched their portfolios before they matched their hearts. Every marriage in my circle is a merger first, feeling second. And how's that working out for them? Victoria's silence speaks volumes. Zara leans forward. I grew up in foster care, 7 different homes by the time I aged out. I've waited tables, cleaned offices, worked 3 jobs while getting my degree at night school. I've been where you tried to put me last night, less than, unworthy, out of place. Then how? Because Marcus doesn't see where I came from. He sees where I'm going. She stands, moves to the window overlooking the reading room, where children sprawl on beanbags with books. And more importantly, he sees who I am right now, not my past, not my potential me. I loved someone once. Victoria's voice cracks. Thomas, my cousin. Not by blood he's adopted, but my family made it clear it was inappropriate, embarrassing. So I let them convince me, and I watched him fall for someone else. Someone who reminded me of you. Understanding dawns. That's why you lashed out. She looks like you, carries herself like you. And Thomas looks at her the way Marcus looks at you, like you're the sun, and he's been living in darkness. Tears streak Victoria's perfect makeup. I threw away something real for something proper. And now I'm 26 and engaged to a man who's already cheating with his secretary. Zara hands her a tissue, sits on the edge of the desk. So why stay? Because it's what's expected. Because disappointing my family is worse than disappointing myself. She laughs bitterly. Pathetic, right? Human. Zara's voice gentles, but also a choice. You're choosing their approval over your happiness. It's not that simple. It's exactly that. Simple. It's just not easy. The door opens, and Marcus appears, concern flashing across his face when he sees Victoria's tears. But Zara waves him off, and he retreats, trusting her judgment. You want to know the real difference between us, Victoria? Victoria nods. Mascara. Smudged but listening. I've lost everything before. Multiple times. So I know that losing everything isn't the end, it's just change. You're so terrified of losing what you have that you've already lost yourself. I don't know how to be anything else. Then learn. Zara gestures to the reading room. Start here. Read to kids who don't care about your last name. Help people who need actual help, not charity galas and tax write-offs. Figure out who Victoria is when she's not a Pemberton. And if I can't, then you'll spend your life attacking women who remind you of what you could have been. Victoria stands, shoulders squaring. The 40 hours a month, it's not a punishment, is it? It's an opportunity. Zara returns to her chair. Maria will show you around, get you started. The kids are reading. Partners arrive at 3. Victoria pauses at the door. Does it get easier? Being who you are instead of who they want you to be? No. But it gets more worthwhile. After she leaves, Marcus returns, pulls Zara into his arms. You're remarkable. She's not evil, Marcus. She's just lost. Most people wouldn't see it that way, wouldn't care. You would. She traces his jaw. Under all that corporate armor, you care too much. It's why I fell for you. I thought it was my devastating good looks and vast fortune. Those helped. She grins. Then sobers. She's going to need time. And support, real support, not just obligation. Whatever you need. He kisses her forehead. But right now I need you to come with me. Where? Trust me. And she does completely, utterly, always. The rooftop garden blooms in impossible splendor 50 floors above Manhattan. A secret oasis Marcus had built just for her. Fairy lights twine through the pergola. And the table is set for two, their wedding china. The good crystal, everything. Perfect. What's this? Zara breathes, taking in the scene. Tonight marks 6 months since that gala. Marcus pulls out her chair. 6 months since Victoria's slap changed everything. Changed everything. She sits, watches him pour wine with careful precision. We were already married, already happy, but that night showed me something. He takes his seat across from her, reaches for her hand. I'd been protecting you wrong, shielding you instead of standing beside you, making decisions for us instead of with us. Marcus, let me finish. His thumb traces circles on her palm. I watched you transform that girl's punishment into her salvation. Saw you find the hurt beneath her hatred and heal it. These 6 months, Victoria's become one of your best volunteers. She's even standing up to her family about Thomas. She's doing the work herself. Because you showed her it was possible. He stands, pulls her up with him, leads her to the gardens, edge where the city spreads below like scattered diamonds. You do that, Zara. You see people's potential and reflect it back to them until they believe it too. You're romanticizing. I'm observing. He turns her to face him, hands framing her face. Robert Pemberton called today. He wanted to thank me for insisting on the volunteering. Says Victoria's happier than she's been in years. He thinks I'm some kind of genius for knowing what she needed. What did you tell him? That the genius is my wife. That everything good in my life comes from her influence. His forehead touches hers. That I'm just a man who got lucky enough to be loved by a queen. Marcus, her voice catches. I love you, Zara Blackstone. Love your strength and your compassion. Love how you challenge me and change me. Love that you see the man I could be and make me want to be him. You already are him. Her hands cover his. You've always been him. You just needed reminding sometimes. Music drifts from hidden speakers, their song. The one from their wedding, and he pulls her into a slow dance. The city noise fades until there's nothing but them, swaying together under the stars. I have something for you. He murmurs against her hair. Marcus, you don't need to. It's not diamonds. He pulls back, reaches into his pocket. Though I considered them. The envelope is simple. Her name written in his bold script. Inside, papers that make her gasp. The Zara Blackstone Foundation for Women's Empowerment. She reads, voice shaking. Marcus, this is fully funded for the next 50 years. Autonomous from my companies. With you as the sole director, your board to choose, your programs to design. He cups her face. The literacy program was just the beginning. This is for all of its shelters, education, legal aid, whatever you decide women need. Tears stream down her face. This must be $1 billion. He says it simply, like it's nothing. To start. Marcus, I can't. You can. You will. He kisses her tears. You'll change lives, Zara. The way you changed mine, the way you changed Victoria's. Our accountants will have a heart attack. They'll recover. He spins her, and she laughs through her tears. Besides, it's our money. Ours to use how we see fit. Ours, she repeats, and the word holds weight. Partnership, equality, love. There is one condition, he adds, and she raises an eyebrow. You have to let me help, not take over, not protect, help. As your partner. Always, she promises, and kisses him deeply. They dance until the music ends, then longer, making their own rhythm. The city pulses below, but up here, they're in their own world. You know what the best part is? Zara asks as they finally sit for dinner. Tell me. Victoria starts her job at the foundation next week, full-time. She quit her family's firm, broke. Her engagement. She's choosing herself. She raises her glass to unexpected beginnings, to slaps that change everything, Marcus adds with a grin, to partnerships that weather any storm, to love that transforms. They toast, and somewhere below, Victoria Pemberton is having dinner with Thomas, finally free to love who she chooses. The ripples of one moment of violence have become waves of change, transformation, hope. Marcus pulls Zara onto his lap, feeds her strawberries and champagne while she laughs and pretends to protest. The fairy lights cast golden shadows on her skin, and he thinks he's never seen anything more beautiful than his wife in this moment, powerful and soft, compassionate and fierce. "I love you," he tells her, because he can never say it enough. "I love you too," she replies, and seals it with a kiss that promises forever. The city glitters below, witness to their love, their growth, their triumph over those who would tear them down. And in their rooftop garden, Marcus and Zara Blackstone dance into their future together, always unbreakable.